subject lost. There we go. The dog came and got in the way. Naughty dogty. Right, I think by this point I might be going a little bit mad. But I keep saying that I am going to celebrate the fact that I've been vlogging for 1 year. 1 whole year. Wow. So, I'm measuring the dog necks. This is Buddy's, here he comes. And this is Dotty's. And I'm going to make Buddy a tie and Dotty a little bow. And I've done it right on the end of this ribbon because I'm also going to make a little mini one for Muffin. But she's not here to measure, so I've got to guess. I've got to guess how big her head's going to be and just hope that it fits. I wonder if she's a lot smaller than Dotty, isn't she? So I'm not sure about Muffins. Need to do it so I can tighten it, maybe. So I won't put hers on the ribbon end. I'll put hers on the top end. But anyway, that's what we're doing at the moment. Buddy's going to get a bow tie and Dotty and Muffin are going to get a ribbony bow. I'm just going to make it out of card and staple it on. But that's where we are at the moment. Because I'm going to have a little tea party. So, this is where we are at the moment. I've got, oh, that's not meant to be there. I've got some ribbons, gold and silver. Got some paint, got some glitter. And black card for Buddy's tie. And I found some pink paint, which is what I will paint Dotty and Muffin's bows with. So let's just see what happens. Right, so I measured Buddy's neck. That is Buddy, so that's going to be a tie. So I think I will just cut this into strips, and should I bring in my stapler? As you can see, I am a very organised person. Not. Stapler. That's going to be crucial for this. I'd left the sellotape out there as well. So let's cut some strips. How thick do we want them? I'll do them all the same. Let's just see what happens. But we have been filming now for a whole year on the old vloggy vlogs. And it's funny because the reason that I started doing it, I've always watched vlogs. The first person I started watching was Rem Life. Then I started watching Alicia Marie. Is it Alicia Marie Vlogs? I started watching her after I started watching Remy. And that is many, many years ago. And it just used to be something, if I was off sick from work or Luke wasn't about, I would put YouTube on and watch some vlogs There is other people I watch, but they were the first two people that I started watching. And because in the beginning, because they're going like extravagant places and spending big bucks on handbags and shoes and stuff now. But when they first started, they were just going on shopping trips around Target, which we don't have in England. I think that's an American shop. We don't have Target, but we have shops that are similar. It used to be Wilko's, but they've gone bust now. But that used to be my shop that I would go around for all the bits and pieces and all the stationery and all that sort of stuff. So that's how it started in my mind, was watching vlogs. And I always thought how good it would be in 20, 30, 40 years' time as an adult, and you can look back and watch when you were a youngster in your 20s, 30s or whatever, looking back at your life like that with your friends, having fun. And because life is chapters, isn't it? And it doesn't stay the same for long. So I just thought what a good way to spend your time would be was to be vlogging. But I never actually thought I would end up doing it. But then I was having a bad time, had a bit of a mental breakdown from the job I'm at now, actually. I think I'd been there a year and a half. And then I was struggling to get there. My anxiety was really bad. And I was halfway driving to work and I couldn't do it. And I was turning around and having to go home again. And I ended up getting signed off and had therapy, and the doctors helped me a lot. They tried me on medicine, but the medicine didn't work, because the medicine that they tried to give me for anxiety made my anxiety worse, because I'm a weirdo like that. And I know that it does work for some people, because I've got friends that take it and swear by it. So it's just me. I'm, what's the word? Sensitive, shall we say, to medicines and stuff. Like I can't take like really strong painkillers or anything like that from the doctors. So anyway, I saw the same doctor over 2 weeks, and it was the first doctor that I went to go and see, and I had to take my mum with me. It was awful. My anxiety was so bad. I was sat there with a fan, like sweating, like having panic attack after panic attack in the doctor's waiting room. And the doctor came out to get us, to call the patients. And when she came out, she'd obviously looked at why I was there, and she saw me in the waiting room, and I'd never met her before, and she went, "Joanne?" I was like, so I walked in there like, because my anxiety was so bad. So anyway, same doctor saw me 2 weeks later, and she said, "Oh, this is a big difference. What have you been doing to improve so much?" Because the second time, 2 weeks later, when I went back, I was sat calmly. She came out and called me, and I walked in. I went, "Hi, how are you?" She went, "Cool, this is a big difference 2 weeks ago. What have you been doing?" And I said, "I've been watching YouTube videos." And I said, what I did was, I went onto YouTube and I typed in "how to be happy." And there was like a repetitive pattern on what, obviously I looked at normal people and professionals to get the gist of what everybody was saying. Did some research, shall we say. And yeah, within 2 weeks, the improvement, the doctor couldn't even believe it. And it was all thanks to me looking at YouTube. And I literally just typed in "how to be happy," because I was so fed up. I didn't know what to do. Obviously, you have to wait for doctor's appointments and stuff like that, because they were checking my bloods to make sure there was nothing wrong with me. But in the meantime, I just decided to do some research and try to help myself out a little bit. And yeah, all those wonderful, helpful people on YouTube that came up when I typed in how to be happy, I just started following all the tips and tricks that they said. It was like limit caffeine, stop eating sugar, exercise, have a hobby, like do hobby fun stuff that you enjoy doing, was a big one. And that is something that I hadn't been doing. I had dog walked because I've always had dogs and stuff, but it was sort of a quick rush dog walk before I went and did something else, and I'd given everything up. I quit smoking, drinking, loads of other stuff, and the last thing I quit was caffeine, and that was the last straw, I think, for me, was quitting caffeine. It literally sent me over the edge. Now, we all know I drink a lot of caffeine again. I am a caffeine queen. I absolutely love caffeine. But I did stop it for, oh God, must have been a couple of years. I must have quit caffeine for a couple of years. I quit alcohol totally for 1.5 years. Which is weird, by the way, because where we grow up, that is just what you do for a hobby. You just go to the pub with your friends, you go and have drinks, and you binge drink at the weekends and all that sort of stuff. I live in a place where that is normal. You spent, well, me and quite a few others. It's very normal where I grow up to, trying to get that in the wrong hole, to go to the pub and drink a lot and party with your friends all weekend and have no sleep. That was the other thing. I was a bad insomniac. Didn't sleep well. Ever since I was a kid, I was terrible at sleeping, even when I was little. I'd sort of get 2 or 3 hours and then be up in the middle of the night, like playing games silently in the house or sneaking downstairs to watch TV in silence. I'd go and put my cartoons on in silence, and nobody heard me. But yeah, I was always a bad sleeper. But that is something I'm much better at now, which is why I have a very early bedtime. Even in the holidays when I'm not working, we still go to bed between 8 and 9, even though I could stay up until midnight every night if I wanted to. But I don't, because as an adult, I realise how important sleep is. Because when I was younger and I was out partying all the time, one of my mottos was, I don't sleep anyway, so what's the point in going home and going to bed? Which is why I stayed out partying all the time, all weekend. But it's not uncommon where I live to do that. I've got some friends still doing it now. Look at that. There's his little neck collar. Yeah. Oh, it's massive. Okay. It's going to be big, but he's only got to wear it for 5 minutes. Yeah, so anyway, long story short, I went to the doctor's. 2 weeks later, I was totally different. The doctor said to me, what have you been doing? There's such a change in you in just 2 weeks. What's the secret? And I said, I've been watching YouTube videos. And she said, then you need to do your own YouTube video. That's literally what the doctor said to me. You should do your own YouTube video. Because she couldn't believe the improvement in me in just 2 weeks. She was like, you need to, share this, spread this on. And from that, obviously that was not going to happen straight away when she said that to me. Because I was in a very bad place back then. And there was no way on earth. This is flipping it, 34, 8 years ago. I started at my place when I was 33. It must have been a year and a half. So I would have been 34, 35. So it's about 7 or 8 years ago that I'm talking about. And ever since the doctor said that to me, I have thought about it. I have watched vlogs and thought about now I've got to think how I'm going to make this into a tie. Because I don't just want too flappy. Right, I'll just do one big... It's all right, I'm trying to do 10 things at once. About that long, so let's do it like that. And a tie goes small to big to pointy. Let's draw it and cut it out. So yes, what was I saying? Yeah, so it was never going to be straight away that I was ever going to think about doing that, because I was in a very bad place. But ever since then, I have always watched people vlogging and always thought about doing it myself, but just to vlog my life, like to vlog, you know, what I'm doing, this certain chapter of my life, how good and fun it would be to just look back and have all of my memories. Sorry, just concentrating. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, just to look back on, basically. Me and Luke and the dogs, like in 10, 20, whatever years' time, just to look back and go, oh, do you remember that? Oh, do you remember that? Oh, that was good, wasn't it? So, that is what I had in my head for all those years when the doctor said to me, you should do your own YouTube channel. And because one of the things that I had lost touch with was hobbies and having fun, because I was just working all the time. I was working forever, obviously. You got the first job at 14 and then just worked constantly since then. And that's just what you do, innit? That's just the norm. But I had forgotten the creative outlet that you need to be outside and relaxing with nature is another thing, which is why when I'm out with the dogs and stuff now, I actually stop and take it all in. Photography was something that helped me, by the way, with anxiety back in the olden days when camera phones were brand new. I just used to use photography as a distraction from having anxiety outside, because I had agoraphobia and I didn't know what it was, and I thought I was crazy. So I don't want to go too deep into all that stuff, really, because I don't want to trigger anybody, and obviously I think everybody has issues, don't they? So I don't want to hit too much on it. But anyway, when I was out and about, I did find photography a good distraction when I was out walking dogs and things outside. But yeah, so I had stepped very far away from hobbies and fun and creative outlets and stuff like that. So that's why when I got to 40, that's Buddy's tie done. I'll get rid of those. Right, that's Buddy's tie. What do we think? But he's asleep, look. Bless him. So I'm not going to wake him up and try it on. But I'd already measured it round his neck. Let's have a look. I'll get rid of those laces. There we go. That's a tie for Buddy. Right, let's put that somewhere safe. So, let's put the kettle on and have a cup of tea, shall we? I think this is a cup of tea chat, isn't it? It's got a bit deep and I didn't expect it to. Hope I'm not depressing you all too much. Yeah, hope I'm not depressing you all too much. So, when I hit 40, I was like, sod it. I'm going to vlog. And that's why I started doing it when I hit 40, which was last year. And it's a year ago, which I have said a few times, because I bought my camera in the Easter holidays. So I'm very sorry if you keep watching my videos and I keep repeating myself. So that's why I started vlogging. I do it for fun, I do it for a creative outlet, and YouTube, honestly, I don't even say it lightly, YouTube, I think, saved my life. Because all of the people on there that you can research what your problem is, you've got people on, I've even looked up before about a lady with driving anxiety, because I still have driving anxiety, something that I will always suffer with, apparently. I spoke to a therapist and she really did help me, and you've got to just drive through it, not panic and not turn around and go home, which is what I was doing. Every time I had a panic attack or driving anxiety, I'd have this big freak out, and then I would just turn around and go home, be like, I can't deal with this, I can't deal with this today, this is awful. So driving anxiety is something I still suffer with now. On long distance driving, I'm fine where I always drive, my normal places, absolutely fine. But if I have to drive somewhere new or drive somewhere where I haven't driven for a long time, I still get driving anxiety. But I have to breathe through it and I have to suffer it, and then eventually I feel better. Or I just pull over, have a little moment, have a little drink, have a couple of nuts or an apple or something like that, just to, you know, sort myself out, and then crack on with it. So that's something that having therapy really helped me with. What tea do we want? Should we have green? But yeah, so that's something else that I did on YouTube. I have no idea what her name was, but it was a lady that was dealing with driving anxiety, and she took you on her journey of it. And then she decided to drive to the beach, which was like an hour, hour and a half away from her. And I was like, oh my God, she's so brave. So, yes, there is a lot of people on YouTube that can help you and that have been videoing their experiences. There's someone else that I remember, and she filmed herself having a panic attack, and it was on YouTube. I can't remember what her vlogging... She didn't normally suffer with it. That's not what I was watching her for. I think she was just vlogging. I think she'd had caffeine on an empty stomach and it had given a panic attack or something like that. I can't remember. But there is people that have filmed their whole life, and all their experiences, good and bad, are on there for you to do research and to help you along your journey. So is this tea bags? Yes. I recommend that whatever your problem is, whatever you're struggling with or whatever, there is someone that has videoed themselves or filmed themselves. I still say videos, and that's so old fashioned. We don't use videos anymore. yeah, I guarantee you that there is someone on YouTube that can help you or give you good advice. There's so many people on here that have just dedicated themselves to helping you. And that's why it is my favourite platform. Because there's so many people on YouTube that I still watch now. I watch a lot of the doctors, a lot of the nutritionist people. I've had so much advice about food and what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat and what you should mix together and what you shouldn't eat together. And there's so much information out there. And I've done a lot of my research from YouTube. So all those lovely people on here that just dedicate themselves to helping people get better or feel better or eat better or sleep better. So whatever it is you're struggling with, I guarantee you there is help on YouTube. This platform's helped me loads. So, long story short, this is a really long story. But long story short, that's why I started doing YouTube. And now I've been vlogging for 1 whole year, which to me is an accomplishment, because I told myself I was going to do it, not really knowing whether I would stick to it, because in the beginning it's really hard. In the beginning it's difficult because you have all these things in your head that you're going to talk about or that you're going to say, and then when you stick your camera on you, in your face, that's when your mind goes blank and you're like and you just can't think of what to say. It's so weird. But it gets a lot easier. And I do recommend vlogging your life, at least, because it's so good to have it all on the TV. Like, you can just go back through your videos. And a year ago, I didn't say very much at all. And now I don't stop talking, as you can see. But yeah, so we'll just leave that story there, I think, because it's a very long story about why I started doing YouTube. But that's why. And I told myself at 40 I was going to start doing it, and I did. And here we go. And now I'm making a cardboard bow tie for my dog to celebrate. This is what YouTube does to you. But in a really good, fun way. And now I've got something to think about in my spare time, like, oh, what video am I going to do? What should I talk about? Where should I take the dogs? You know, it's just a really good creative outlet for me. And if you're bored or sad and you don't know what to do with yourself and you don't know where your life's going and all that sort of stuff, just start doing YouTube videos. It's fun, gets you out and about, makes you creative, makes you talk a lot. Sorry about that. But now I'm going to make Dottie's bow tie, because I think this is a long enough rant, and yeah, I don't want to put you through anymore. So let's leave that there, shall we?